Yeah.
You ever catch yourself in the mirror and something's just like off about it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like your eyes move too quickly or something's still there after you look away. I mean, we all know those spooky mirror stories, right?
Right.
But what if I told you there might be some real science behind it?
Hmm?
Today, we're going to do a deep dive into this paper that suggests mirrors might not just be reflecting light. They could be like windows into a whole other dimension of reality.
It's a wild theory.
Oh, it is.
Really, really challenges how we think about the world.
Absolutely. And it all starts with something called the SMF RVS theory.
Okay.
It sounds complicated, but honestly, it's one of the most fascinating things I've read in a while.
It's really a paradigm shift, I think, for most of us.
Yeah.
You know, we think of mirrors as just bouncing light back at us.
Right.
Which, on a basic level, sure, that's true.
Yeah.
But this theory asks, like, what if there's more to that reflection? What if it's interacting with something else?
Okay. So let's break it down a bit.
Sure.
SMF, that stands for subtle magnetic field.
Okay.
Now, we're not talking about the kind of magnets you stick on your fridge.
Right.
This is like a much subtler force, but it's thought to be like everywhere, permeating everything.
Yeah, it's everywhere in the fabric of space.
Yeah. And then you've got RVS.
Okay.
Relative vacuum of space. And this is where things get really interesting because when we say vacuum, most of us think emptiness.
Right. Empty space.
But according to quantum physics, it's anything but.
Yeah, it's not empty at all.
Right.
It's actually like teeming with energy.
Right.
What physicists call quantum fluctuations.
So like imagine a bubbling sea of potentiality.
Yes, exactly.
With particles just popping in and out of existence.
That's it.
Wow. So we've got this subtle magnetic field, this incredibly dynamic vacuum. What happens when those two forces meet?
That's where the push wave comes in.
Okay.
So this theory proposes that the interaction between those two, the SMF and the RVS, it creates a type of wave, and this wave carries information.
Information about what exactly? Like what is it carrying?
It's carrying information about everything it encounters. Like you can imagine everything, like every object, every person leaves a kind of imprint on this push wave as it passes through like ripples in a pond.
Okay.
But instead of just the shape, the ripples hold a record of the object itself.
Oh, wow.
Almost like an energetic signature.
Okay, so my mind is bending a little bit here.
Yeah.
How do mirrors fit into all of this?
So that's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The theory suggests that because of their reflective properties, mirrors are really sensitive to this push wave.
Oh, wow.
Almost like antennas picking up signals.
So they're not just bouncing light, they're interacting with this information wave that's carrying a record of, well, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And that includes us.
Us.
Think about it. Every person leaves their own imprint.
Right.
Your reflection isn't just light, it's interacting with your own energetic signature as it exists in this field.
So it's almost like the mirror showing us something deeper than just what we look like.
Yeah, like a deeper layer of ourselves.
Right.
And that might actually explain some of those strange things we see in mirrors, like those reflections that move on their own.
Right. Or images that stick around even after the person's gone. Okay, so let's talk about those spooky stories. The one that always creeps me out is like independent eye movement.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you look in the mirror and it's almost like your reflection's eyes are moving on their own.
Definitely unsettling.
Yes.
But this theory might explain that, because the push wave is constantly in motion.
Right.
It's dynamic. And there are all these fluctuations at the quantum level.
Right.
So what we see as like independent eye movement might just be our energy interacting with those fluctuations.
So it's not that the mirror is possessed or anything.
Right.
It's reflecting this deeper level of reality that's constantly shifting that we don't normally see.
That's the idea. And it really shows that what we see in the mirror isn't just a static picture.
Right.
It's this dynamic interplay between light, energy, and information.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay.
And it goes even deeper than that. Those lingering images that people report seeing?
Yeah.
Like someone walks past a mirror and then they're gone, but you can still see them?
Yeah, it's like a ghost image or something.
Yeah. And this theory suggests it's not just a trick of the light or our eyes playing tricks on us.
Okay.
It could be the mirror picking up on that person's energy signature.
Right.
Which is still imprinted on that push wave.
So it's like an echo of the past.
Exactly, like a trace of their energy that's still lingering there, even though they're physically gone.
That's seriously mind-blowing.
It is, and it really challenges this idea that mirrors are just passive reflectors.
Right.
They might actually be windows into this kind of universal memory.
Universal memory. Okay, so is that like everything that's ever happened is being recorded somewhere in this field?
Well, that's one of the huge questions this theory raises.
Yeah.
If this push wave is constantly interacting with everything, absorbing information,
Right.
then it's possible it could contain a record of, well, everything.
Wow, so it's like the universe is keeping a giant diary.
Kind of.
But if that's true, then does that mean, like, there's no such thing as privacy?
Yeah.
Like, is every embarrassing moment, every awkward conversation just out there forever?
That's a big philosophical question.
It is.
But just from a scientific perspective,
Yeah.
this theory suggests that information is much more persistent than we think.
Right. It doesn't just disappear.
Right. It leaves a trace, this energetic signature.
Wow. Okay, this is a lot to process.
It is. It really makes you think.
It does. It makes you think about, like, reality and how we understand ourselves in the universe.
Exactly.
Okay. Speaking of mind-blowing concepts,
Yeah.
there was one more thing in the paper I wanted to talk about, the Grand Fibonacci connection.
Ah, yes.
What is that all about?
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because it connects to other unexplained phenomena.
Okay.
Things like synchronicity, déjà vu, even precognitive dreams.
Hold on. Are you saying those experiences could also be explained by this push wave, this
Yeah.
universal memory?
It's possible. It's a possibility worth exploring.
Okay.
The Grand Fibonacci connection refers to a specific set of mathematical principles,
Okay.
specifically fractal patterns and scaling laws.
Like those beautiful patterns you see in nature, like snowflakes and ferns and stuff.
Exactly. Those are fractals, and they're not just in nature.
Right.
They're also in us, our thoughts, our behavior, even our interactions.
So are you saying there's like some kind of hidden code to the universe that connects everything?
That's the essence of the Grand Fibonacci connection.
Wow.
It suggests everything is interconnected, part of this larger pattern, a cosmic dance.
Okay.
And this push wave with its universal memory might be the way it all manifests.
And the mirror is like a window into that code.
It's a beautiful way to put it. The mirror isn't just reflecting us.
Right.
It's reflecting this connection, this cosmic dance we're all a part of.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it, but it's a little intimidating too.
I understand.
It's like we're all connected by these invisible threads, and our actions have these consequences we might not even be aware of.
It is a shift in perspective, but I think it's a hopeful one.
Okay.
Because if we're all connected, then we have the power to create positive change.
Right. We can influence the universe in ways we don't even understand yet.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've gone from spooky mirrors to like a universal memory, fractal patterns,
Yeah.
and like this idea that we're all connected through this invisible web of energy.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It is. Where do we even go from here? Like, what does this all mean for our lives? You know?
That's the big question, isn't it? And I think it's one that each of us has to grapple with on our own.
Right.
But even just thinking about this possibility, even if it's just a theory right now,
Yeah.
it makes you want to be more aware, live a little more intentionally.
Because knowing that our actions might have these ripple effects,
Right.
like we're leaving an energetic trace everywhere we go.
Exactly.
It changes things, doesn't it?
It makes you think twice about the energy you're putting out into the world,
Right. It's not about being perfect or anything.
No, not at all.
It's just realizing we're all part of this system, this interconnected system,
Yeah.
and that our choices have an impact even if we don't see it right away.
It's humbling and empowering at the same time, I think.
Yeah, it is humbling because it reminds us that we're not the center of the universe.
Right.
But empowering because we each have a role to play in all of this.
Exactly. And maybe that's the beauty of this theory, It doesn't give us easy answers or rules to follow.
Right.
It just shows us a new way of seeing things, a new way of understanding ourselves and the universe.
And then it's up to us to decide what to do with that knowledge.
Yeah.
It's like we've been given this new lens.
It is like a new lens.
And suddenly everything looks different.
It shows us those hidden connections, the energy that flows between all of us. And maybe, just maybe, if we become aware of that, we can create a more harmonious world, a more compassionate world.
That's a beautiful thought.
Mm-hmm.
So if our cosmic imprint is out there like this, and mirrors are showing us glimpses of this deeper reality, what else is hidden in this pushwave field?
That's, for us to explore this deep dive, was really just scratching the surface.
Right.
And if you're interested in learning more, we'll be sure to include a link to the full paper in the show notes.
Yes, definitely check it out and let us know what you think. Does this theory resonate with you?
Yeah. What questions does it raise?
We love hearing from you guys and, exploring these topics together.
Absolutely, because ultimately this is a journey of discovery, not just of the universe, but of ourselves.
And who knows what we'll find along the way.
Exactly.
So until next time, keep looking up, keep questioning, and keep reflecting. Not just in mirrors, but in all parts of your life. You never know what you might discover.